I consistently make around $40,000 to $50,000 every single month for my agency, AI agency, whatever you want to call it. And today I pretty much built this entire blueprint going every single step of the way, how you can get from 0 to 10K and then 10 to 20, 30, 40, 50K a month with inbound leads. But pretty much let's just get right into it. The first thing you have to understand that an agency is pretty much a skill-based service, right? You're providing them some sort of skill that's usually digital online. So your leverage is your skill. There's no hack, there's no shortcut. You just have to learn to work on yourself and learn those skills. Now it does take time. It does take time to become the best in your niche. You can't become the best right off the bat. It just takes time and practice. So generally, you have to understand that the more skills you have and the better you are at those skills, for example, media buying, copywriting, whatever it is, it generally means that you're more likely to win the sale, right? If you are better than your competitor and then you're just offering the same price, you usually would win the sale. If you're under $10,000 a month right now, it's pretty much a skill gap. It's not a funnel. There's no some like secret thing. It's really just a skill gap and you need to get better at these specific skills. And these are all the skills that you pretty much need to grow your agency that I'm about to show you. So what you have to do is learn these skills by actually doing them. So websites, ads, designing them, copy, editing, literally everything. You have to force yourself to actually learn these skills and love to learn these skills because it is the most important thing. This is your entire business. So watch YouTube tutorials just like this. You're already on the right path. And then you actually build it out, whether you do it for yourself, whether you do it for a client, for a free trial, whatever. You literally just do this a fuck ton of times until you become really, really great at a specific skill. And there's one thing that you have to learn that you might be thinking, hey, I could just hire out. I could just get someone that already has this skill. Don't outsource everything. Obviously utilize AI and I'll show you exactly how to utilize. I actually use AI for 90%, 80% of my delivery for the ads, for the copy, for the websites, for all that stuff. So it's super useful. And it makes things much, much easier than just a few months ago, but you shouldn't hire out because you need to be capable of delivery because when you're actually closing the client or selling to the client, you need to know what the hell you're talking about. Number one. Number two, when you're hiring people, you need to know if they're actually good at what they do. So the more you actually know yourself, the stronger your team will be, the more likely you will close a client because you actually know how the system works. Now let's talk about the niche, right? What niches should you target? And then we'll talk about the offer, like what do you actually sell? So pretty much I highly recommend only targeting high ticket niches, people that charge like 1 to 5K. Probably already know this, like plumbing, HVAC, roofing, PPF, med spas, all these people, either high ticket jobs or really high LTV. That would also work. So like med spas, it's like let's say a $500 to $2,000 service, but the people are really sticky and they keep coming back over and over again and they end up spending like 10K. So if you get them a customer, that's worth a lot of money and they're going to pay you $2,000 no problem if they make 10K off of that. Same with high ticket. With something low ticket, it doesn't really work like that. If it's like a car detailer and they close a $200 job, you get them 10 jobs, you only close 2K or they close 2K. How are they going to pay you 2K? Right? They're not. It's just not possible. So I highly recommend either really high ticket jobs or high LTV jobs. Let's talk about the actual niches. So for example, roofing, HVAC, remodeling, these clients are really hard to land, but they're really good because you can make them a shitload of money. But I recommend you start with, this is wrong, don't do cleaning. Pest control is okay. Landscaping is probably the easiest barrier to entry, but also being high ticket enough to where you can actually make money. Cleaning, like easy barrier to entry, but now you're not going to make them a lot of money. Pest control in the middle there. Window cleaning, you can make them a lot of money with ads. PPF and wrap is great. That's my niche. I highly recommend you avoid car detailing, handyman, like people like barbers. Actually cleaning, I don't recommend you do that, but I highly recommend you pick a niche that you know. So don't chase the profitable niches. If you have experience, if you like cars, for example, do PPF and wraps, right? Auto styling shop. I have a buddy that does specifically golf simulator installation ads and they fucking print. It's like a 20K installation, 10K installation. And it's a super, super like random niche that you would never even think of, but it's because he loves golf and he actually knows about the niche that he can deliver so good. Now, sell what you're actually good at, right? That's really, really important. And also there's a little reoccurring test. Like you can either have a roof that, for example, is $15,000 a month. That's really good. Or you can have a reoccurring service, like I said, med spas that people keep coming over and over again. So you like your LTV per client has to be really high. Either it's like 10K like in one sale or like 10K over, 6 months. That's the same thing pretty much. Now for the actual offer, you want to sell them the dream, right? You're selling them the outcome. You're not selling them the system or the actual process. You're taking them from the pain to the dream outcome. So there's a specific pain. For example, they're not getting enough leads. And then there's an actual outcome, right? Down here, there's a bunch of sharks that are or piranhas or whatever, that are going to eat your customer alive if they try to do this themselves. You have to become the bridge that does this, but you're not selling the bridge. You're selling the actual outcome. How are they going to get here without ending up here with the easiest, most painless possible way? And usually, by the way, this bridge is going to be done with AI. And this right here, the piranhas, is time and money. So you're saving them time, you're saving them money, and you're giving them that desired outcome. So you are the bridge between the two. Now, the actual bridge is usually ads, CRM systems, and websites. That's what we offer. We're a full stack agency. We usually come in with a soft pitch of website, then we upsell them CRM and ads. But if you have inbound leads, which I'll show you how to get at the end, you can just sell them entire packages for like 5K. It's really, really good. Now here's a pricing ladder matter. If you're just starting out, I highly recommend you should just start lower. Like, you don't have the skills to charge 2K or 5K a month, right? You just don't. So as a beginner, just take less money up front to build more testimonials and to build some capital that you can play with. So charge between 750, 500 a month. You can have a bigger upfront fee and then a small monthly fee. Sometimes we can even do free trials. Now, if you're intermediate, you have some experience, 2K upfront, 1K a month is good. I actually charge this for some of my offers right now for my agency, and I've been doing this for quite a while now. And then pro, you can charge like 5K, 10K upfront, and then huge monthly retainers. But this would only work if you're working with like remodeling companies where you get them like 40K a job, you know? Now there's a few payment models, retainer, a rev share. You can also do rev share, which is a little bit harder to track, but if you can track it and you trust your customer, I mean, you get them a 40K remodeling job, that's 10%, right? 10% of rev, you're making 4K. That's beautiful, right? You can also do pay per appointment. So like each appointment is $200, and then you cover the actual ad cost, or and let's say that the cost per lead is like $40, and then the cost per appointment is like $100, and then you pretty much upsell them that and you make $100 on that. But I personally like to do retainers. That's pretty much what I've always done. Now in the beginning, if you suck at sales and you can't do this, just do free trial to build up your skills. It's so worth it. 7 to 14 days is all you need. I would say 14 if you're running ads, because it needs some time to marinate, and that's it, right? That's literally all you do. You run that up for a few months, you have a bunch of clients, and then you go from there, which we'll talk about in just a second in the scale section. But let's talk about the actual setup. So how do you set shit up? So I would pretty much do almost everything with AI. So you don't have to hire out, you don't have to get a lot of VAs, you don't have to pay for a lot of like employees. You could just have a one-man team, lean and clean, and you're going to be super profitable, like 70 to 80% profit margins, if not higher. So all your branding is going to be AI, like the name, the copy for your website, all that shit. Easy, you can do that in Claude. Logo, just use Nano Banana Gemini. I use Hicksfield because it has all the models, but you could just use Gemini, Nano Banana, right? Just pick a color palette, throw this shit into Go High Level AI Studio, you're good to go. I'll make you an agency website. Now for you, what you're actually selling, this is the delivery, right? Website and CRM. So you can get a Go High Level account, $97 a month. By the way, if you want to use my referral link down below, click it. Use Go High Level AI Studio, and then you just build fucking websites and it automatically links with the CRM. Super easy. I'll show you what that looks like hands-on in just a second. You can connect Stripe to that for all your payments, and all you're pretty much doing is reselling Go High Level plus ads. So that's their entire system. Go High Level plus ads. Go High Level for the website, Go High Level for the sales system, the backend, the automations, and then ads to actually fuel the Go High Level like sales pipeline. For example, this right here is like a website that we would make for a client. It's really nice, and you can actually book in. This is not a landing page. This is just the actual website, and then people can fill this out, blah blah, and this automatically goes into the pipeline. And the pipeline looks something like this, pretty much. Boom, follow up, and then let's say a new lead comes in from the ad, and then it goes into the new lead, and then we put it into a follow up, and then follow up looks something like this, where they'll get a bunch of emails and texts and voicemails and stuff like that if they haven't closed on the first call. So that's pretty much exactly what you do. Now for your personal website, if you decide to run ads, which I'll get into later, but it's actually very simple. You just call out a very specific problem, you position yourself as the solution, and you have a no-brainer offer. This is an offer that we're trying out, so it's like home service companies will get you on the front page of Google, build you a website, get you 5-star reviews, and make sure you never miss a lead for $297 a month. And then we upsell them ads later on. We also have high ticket offers. We're just messing around trying to see what does the best by A/B testing a bunch of offers, and we run ads here. So right now you would just be cold calling and just offering your services for very cheap or for free, just trying to get some sort of testimonials, trying to get some sort of clients, some kind of social proof, so you can then have the ability to charge more later on because you're established and you have results and you're going to underprice your work. But in the beginning, you kind of have to just do it. Even if it's not the best use of your time, you're gonna have to do it, because if you look at an agency model, it's like this, right? It's super exponential. You start off really little, really hard to get clients, and then it just fucking explodes. And you have to get through this initial like phase to get into the explosive exponential growth right here, which happens later on. Now for the actual sales, let's say you're cold calling, you land a few clients. This is pretty much the call structure. You pretty much cold call, you get them to book a call. You'll have a discovery call where you pretty much dig for the pain. You see, have they tried running ads in the past? Have they had a website in the past? Have they worked with an agency? Why is that happening? Like, why is it not doing well? Why are they not doing it anymore? For example, the last agency overpromised, underdelivered. Well, that's a problem that we can solve. Obviously, they still want the results, but the last agency couldn't do it. So that's what we call the leaky funnel, and we're fixing the leaky funnel with our solution. And the cost of inaction of leaving this leaky funnel is greater than paying you because you're the solution. So leaky funnel is losing them 8K per month. Them paying you 2K per month fixes it. So there's a net positive of 6K per month, right? You are making them $6,000 per month. So you pretty much position yourself as the actual solution. And once you get to the last slide, you'll have like a presentation that you can easily build with Gamma AI. You pretty much show them the social proof, then you give them the price, and then you just shut up and wait for them to say yes or no. If they say no, no, you're gonna have objections. So like, why are they giving you objections? Usually objections are hidden reasons that you can actually flip back on them. So why are you saying no? Well, I worked with an agency in the past, they overcharged and nothing happened. Well, you obviously still want the results and it didn't work, right? Yes, I still want the results. Okay, so the issue is that the other agency didn't deliver, not that you don't want the results anymore. Yes, okay, well, you can deliver those results unlike the other agency. So that's an example of like flipping it on them. Usually you can flip every objection backwards, and then worst comes to worst, you can say, price aside, would this help you? So you actually want to see if the value you are bringing is something they need. That is why you generally want to sell offers that either save them time or money, because price aside, would you take this? Most of the time, if it makes them money, they're going to say yes. Why would I not take it? And then last resort, obviously, if you're starting out, you just give them a free trial to show them what you can do and that you can deliver, unlike the other guys they worked with or whatever, right? Last thing, if you want to improve fast, record every single call with Fathom, right? It's a free software you can use, and then you just take the transcript from Fathom. It records everything, and then you can just take the transcript. It gives you notes and shit like that, and then you put it into Claude, and then you say, hey, when did this sale go wrong? What happened? How do I fix it? And then you'll slowly get better and better at sales because it'll give you advice. After that, you onboard the client within 24 hours of closing. This is immensely important because your client most of the time churns not because they're not making enough money, it's because they feel like they're not getting results. And if you are within the 24 hours onboarding them, setting everything up, they're going to feel as if they're getting results. Oh, this guy actually cares for my business. He's actually doing stuff like this. Is going to go crazy. And most of the time, even if your ads, usually ads take a few days to do well. If your ads don't do well for the first week, for example, and then the second week, they're going to rip. If your client, if you're not communicating with him, right, and you don't onboard him fast enough, you're not talking with him, like he doesn't know what's happening, he might not wait till week 2 and he might just churn literally week 1, turn off his card, whatever. But if you're there saying, hey, like the ads might do bad in the beginning, but that's normal because Meta is just learning where to send your traffic, the right audience, finding the right audience. For week 2, he's going to wait and he's like, okay, yeah, we'll wait till week 2. And then you'll start ripping here and he'll see results. Now, this applies to every single aspect. You just want to constantly communicate with your clients. And that's why after you close, it's super important to onboard instantly. So they feel they made the right decision and they instantly got value from working with you instead of paying and then like, okay, where did this guy go? Even if you're working on the back end, they don't know. So you have to show them that and make them feel as if they're getting an immense amount of value and they made the right choice working with you. So how do we actually set up the meta ads in the most important part of the delivery? So the first thing is you just get all the access to their information in the very beginning. You install the meta pixel, all that stuff. Pretty much what you're going to do is you're going to test 3 offers with 3 ads. Really simple delivery. So like $100 off, offer number 1, offer number 2 is going to be like get XYZ free, just say get X free, and then whatever your third offer is, right? Just think of another one. And then for each offer, you're going to have 3 ads, every single one, boom, 1, 2, 3. So it can be like video, it can be like static, it can be whatever. And then let's say ad 2 does bad, ad 3 does bad, ad 1 does bad, ad 2 and 3 does bad. So this offer did terrible. This offer had 1 winning ad. Okay, so then we make more of this style ad and get 3 more. And that's how you pretty much test a bunch of creatives really fast to find winners. So how do you actually make the ads? So you're gonna go to the Facebook ad library, you're gonna steal other people's ads, and you're gonna throw them into Hicksfield or Gemini and put in your company's branding. So you'll find an ad that's ripping for like a year, and then you're just gonna take that ad, put it into Gemini or Hicksfield. Let's say it's a PPF shop, and then you just say, hey, replace this image of the car with this Lamborghini or this other car, and then it just replaces the image of the actual ad, and then you could get it to change the copy and the text in the website. Boom, done. Simple as that. For the actual videos, you just steal clips from TikTok, then you take 11 Labs voiceover, and then you just stack that on top of the clips, and then you add captions, and it's also just done. Easy as that. This maybe takes like an hour for both, and you can rip out 1 offer per hour, let's say. It's easy. Now for the actual go high level snapshot, super simple. So you build a CRM one time, right? You just do this one time, and then you can copy and paste this forever. The first time might take you a few hours, but you'll have a website template, you'll have all the automation template. By the way, if you want my templates, you can use my go high level link and I give them to you for free, or you can actually work with me one-on-one and I help you build this entire agency, this AI agency, if you click the link down below to apply, and I give you all my templates and literally review your sales calls, everything. But regardless, right? You build this out once, you have SMS follow-up, you have the forums, you have the AI chat, you have the auto nurturing sequences like I showed you earlier right here, like these nurturing sequences. And then you just copy and paste this for every single client that you get, and you just swap out the logo and branding. That's it. It's literally that simple. Now, I told you about the clarity battery right here a little bit. Communication is more important than results. Obviously, results are important, but you need to make sure you're communicating with your client properly. They usually leave when they're confused, when they don't know what's happening, they feel unhappy, they feel like they're not being taken care of, not when the ads actually don't do well for a day or two, right? So you want to give them daily texts, daily follow-ups, weekly reports, and monthly debriefs. So you can give them weekly or monthly calls, daily texts. You can build reports with Claude. Just throw in all your ad results and say, hey, give me the report for today. There you go. Like it'll it'll make it really nice. It'll design the entire thing. I think I actually have an example I can show you here. So this is literally a report that Claude built me, just like this, right? Super simple, and it looks fire. You can have more in-depth reports at the end of the month and actually have calls with them. And the last part, scaling, is the most important part. At this point, you're probably making around 10K per month from maybe 5 to 6 clients, right? Let's say 5 to 7 clients. But how do you actually get more clients that pay you more money? Because the issue right now is that you're charging probably around 1.5K, and they're probably churning pretty fast. So you have to keep doing cold calls, cold email, cold SMS. So to go full stack, you don't chase new clients, right? They probably pay around 1.5K and they churn. So how do you actually fix this? Well, there's two options, right? You have number one, more clients. So let's just put more clients. And number two, you have bigger LTV, right? So they pay you more. So what do? You actually solve their next problem. For example, you're running ads, there's traffic, so then you send it to the website instead. And then the next problem is like, okay, well, the website's getting leads, but they're not converting to good. So the next is conversion rate optimization. And then you try a new offer with new launches. And each one of these steps, you can upcharge more money. And that is how you get a higher LTV, right? Every single step of the way. If they have too many leads, you can upsell them VAs to actually dial the lead. The second way is with more clients. Well, okay, how do you get more clients without having to cold call? You pretty much build case studies and testimonials. You post on YouTube, TikTok, and IG. If you look up how to run ads for PPF, right, or car detailing, for all this stuff, I'm number one. And I get a lot. This video is 2.7K views. I've gotten a lot of really nice customers from here. As you can see, 125 likes. Just recently, we closed a 2K a month client. So it's pretty crazy, right? They literally go here and they just straight up book with me. A bunch of good likes, a bunch of good comments. So we also have testimonial videos of people, and they watch it. This is 3 likes. So this is 3 clients, or 3 people that actually went from the other video to this video. Now they trust me and they have a specific problem, right? That's why it's so good, because with cold traffic, you have to sell them the problem and then you sell them the solution. With warm traffic, they are actively looking for the solution to the problem, and you are the main answer to their actual problem. So it's much easier to sell. And it's actually funny, if you scroll down right here, this is actually one of my students in the program. His name is Josh. He has been posting on YouTube super consistently, and even though he doesn't get crazy views, he closes a lot of clients from here. He has a nice little setup now, and he makes a lot of money from inbound leads because they go to his channel, they watch all his different videos, all his different testimonials, and then they're super warm, they book a call, and they're ready to buy. As you can see, like, he's closed like over 10K in clients, I'm pretty sure, just from YouTube. Now this is another one of my students. He posts specifically on short form, so Instagram and TikTok. Him and this guy right here, Toby, own an agency together, and they post a bunch of content. As you can see, 33K views on this video. He has a call to action, maybe not in this video, but he gets a bunch of people that actually comment and they actually book calls. He just recently closed a client for $650 up front and then $1.75K every single month from inbound leads from this specific Instagram. So your next step is to literally just start spamming content, and then eventually you'll have enough volume. And this is kind of a long game, just like the gym, you know, it takes time and there's a delayed payoff to it. And after a while, after like a month of posting, 3 months of posting, you'll start getting a bunch of leads self-book and they're ready to buy. And the crazy part, these guys are problem aware. So you can sell them the solution for 4K instead of just 2K or 1K, because here you're selling them the problem, then you're selling the solution. They didn't even know they had the problem. So why would I pay for this problem that I didn't know I have? Compared to these guys, they know they have a problem and they're ready to fix it. And 4K sounds like a good deal to save me more money or make me more money. So this attracts problem aware buyers, and you sell them the solution, not the problem anymore. So you can charge much more. You can also use VAs in multiple different ways, right? You can hire them on onlinejobs.ph and you can upsell them to your clients at $8 an hour, and they charge like $4 an hour, and they can dial the leads and you can make money on that as well. Or you can use it for your agency, for them to do outreach for you, for them to manage the ads, a bunch of clients. Like, it's so easy to scale this up with like 1 or 2 VAs. And pretty much here's the actual math. You can make 120K in 6 months with 10 clients with the average LTV of 12K from each client. So even if you have like 10 clients and each client is paying you 2K, my mouse is glitching out here, you're making 20K per month, right? Now you do this for 6 months, that's 120K. Like, that is insane how fast you can scale this up with the actual inbound leads. Now, guys, if you want me to help you with this personally, I will one-on-one review your sales calls, review all your stuff, give you all my resources, set up this entire system so you can start making 10K a month within 6 months. Just click the link down below to apply. If you want to set up Go High Level, I'll also send you free resources if you use my affiliate link. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.